Unknown events of the Civil War, the Sioux Uprising. John Pope's second campaign as an army commander went considerably better than his first. Not that it is reputation, or Abraham Lincoln's for that matter, any particular good. Following his disastrous performance at Second Manassas, the federal government shipped Pope about as far away as it was possible to ship a serving general. Minnesota. In that sparsely settled state, Union loving men had flocked to the cause, creating a drain on available manpower that would have unexpected and tragic consequences for the families and friends they left behind. Disgruntled by years of neglect by the government, particularly their underhanded treatment by Indian post traders, the Santee Sioux seized the opportunity left by the volunteers' departure to stage a brief but furious rebellion in the summer of 1862. Near starvation after traders refused them food because the Civil War-preoccupied Congress had delayed its annual appropriation of annuities, the Sioux rose spontaneously after trader Andrew J. Myrick turned them away with a dismissive shrug. If they're hungry, let them eat grass. At almost exactly the same time that Pope was leading the Union Army of Virginia to defeat at Manassas, the Sioux launched their rebellion by murdering 5 white settlers, including 2 women, at Acton, Minnesota. Tribal leaders urged Chief Little Crow to lead a war against the whites. At first, Little Crow demurred. The white men are like locusts, he warned. They fly so thick that the whole sky is a snowstorm. You may kill 1, 2, 10, yes, as many as the leaves in the forest yonder, and their brothers will not miss them. Kill 1, 2, 10, and 10 times 10 will come to kill you. Reluctantly, Little Crow agreed to lead the Sioux into battle. On the morning of August 18th, the Indians attacked the Lower Sioux Agency and killed 13 whites, including Trader Myrick, whose corpse was found with blood-stained grass stuffed into his mouth. The Sioux burned and looted the agency. As Indian raids continued in the surrounding countryside, white refugees dashed for safety to Fort Ridgely. Meanwhile, Governor Andrew Ramsey urgently requested reinforcements from Washington. This is not our war. It's a national war, he telegraphed Lincoln. More than 500 whites have been murdered by Indians. The Sioux continued their rampage through 20 Minnesota counties, killing some 800 settlers and carrying off untold numbers of women and children. There were widespread reports of torture, mutilation, and rape. Lincoln responded by naming Pope the commander of a newly created military department of the Northwest, with orders to end the bloodshed in Minnesota. Pope in turn directed Colonel Henry H. Sibley to put down the rebellion. It's my purpose utterly to exterminate the Sioux, if I have the power to do so, said Pope, less than chastened after his recent thrashing by Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. They are to be treated as maniacs and wild beasts. With the help of the newly arrived 3rd Minnesota Regiment, which had been captured and paroled by Confederates at Murfreesboro, Sibley attacked the Sioux at Wood Lake. After 2 hours of fierce fighting, the Indians dispersed westward into the open prairies. A government commission was impaneled to try the ringleaders of the uprising, and 303 Sioux were condemned to death, often on flimsy or non-existent evidence. Public outcry forced Lincoln to intercede and pare down the list to 38. The largest mass hanging in American history took place on the day after Christmas, 1862. Lincoln actually lost public support in Minnesota after the executions. When Ramsey complained that Lincoln could have preserved his popularity by hanging more Indians, the president responded dryly, I could not afford to hang men for votes. It's your history. Learn it, know it, and love it.